We got XRP inflows, the ceasefire breaks, and we got a Clarity Act deadline that we're going to be breaking down in today's update. It's the Monday morning update. I hope you got some coffee. Even better if it's in an XRP mug. Sorry we don't sell them. I wish we did. But everything else is at my website, zachrector.com. And if you guys want to stay up to date on current events, financial markets, and the greatest transfer of wealth in world history, you're in the right place. Just make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. Let's roll. Brent crude oil prices surge above $119 per barrel after the UAE announces that an Iranian drone attack has hit one of their petroleum facilities. Now, this is not just any facility. I'm not going to try to pronounce this, but this is the UAE's primary oil export terminal on the Gulf of Oman, the only major UAE port that bypasses the Strait of Hormuz entirely. It handles millions of barrels of oil that the world has been rerouting specifically to avoid the closed strait. Sliding on over from Iran, they're warning any American interference in the new maritime regime of the Strait of Hormuz will be considered a violation of the ceasefire. The Strait of Hormuz and the Persian Gulf would not be managed by Trump's delusional posts. No one would believe blame game scenarios. This was in response to President Trump announcing yesterday that we were going to start escorting civilian ships through the Strait of Hormuz and that Iran don't attack us. And it appears that that's what's taking place right now in the early hours here in the United States of America. Not sure what time we're translating over to in the Middle East right now, but it looks like we've already seen that escalation that we were very worried about, especially at the last couple of weeks I've been saying here, that we haven't seen the climax of the conflict, and I was going to be leaving my buy orders on $1.20 XRP for XRP getting one more pullback maybe in the rest of our market, just based off the fact that I didn't think we'd seen the climax of the conflict, and we still needed to open up the Strait of Hormuz. I found this one kind of funny. Dennis, this guy here on X, he says, the taco trade is over, which for those of you guys who don't know, that is Trump always chickens out. The taco trade, and it's now become the nacho trade, which is not a chance Hormuz opens. All jokes aside, I am praying for peace, but this is what I've been concerned about. And I was telling my Discord group on our Saturday call. Every Saturday we have our weekly call in my private group. If you guys want to join it, just sign up through Patreon to get access to our Discord. Every Saturday we have a call, and we go down through the markets, explain in depth what I'm doing. I explain some of the trades that I made money, lost money, trades that I tried to make that didn't, I wasn't able to execute. And I broke that most recent trade that I failed to execute on our Saturday call. I explained on Friday, I was on dad duty, but I was waiting to go long oil again because I was already short Bitcoin, and that's a hedge on and a bet that the escalation was going to pick up. We hadn't seen the climax of the conflict, so I was short Bitcoin. I'm still in that position, which is basically at a loss of break even now because Bitcoin's pumped up to 80K. My entry on that trade's about 79,200. But I was looking to enter a oil long on Friday as oil came back down. The market doing what it's been doing the past 6-7 weeks, where we pretend that everything's fine. We see how high we can pump up the market during the week. As soon as the market closes, we break out into war once again. And so oil had traded below $100 per barrel on Friday. But it's very simple. Why didn't I execute my trade? Because I was on dad duty. My wife had taken our newborn son to the doctor. I had my two older children. We were just having so much fun, caught up playing. And by the time I'd got him down for a nap, it was late. It was like 1:30 or 2, and the market had closed. And so I wasn't able to enter that oil long that I was looking to enter. But sure enough, we got the escalation that I was worried about. And look at how the market opened up. You can see the red candle right here is Friday. Oil dips below $100 per barrel to close off the day. And then we open back up here and immediately shoot back up. And here we hit $107 per barrel on the WTI. You slide over to Brent, and that's the one that really jumped up here this morning too, $113 per barrel. So, as I've been saying, until we see the climax of the conflict, I'm not going to say with certainty that the bottom is in or that we're not going to at least approach that bottom level that we already went to. I know it's hard to say. I know maybe we don't want to hear that because it looks like we did break out, right? You look at Bitcoin and we did a triple tap on the 80K rejection and we finally broke through. We get above 80K. Hope is restored to Bitcoin and crypto. Not so fast, right? Then the escalation breaks out in the Middle East and we'll have to monitor that situation. It's looking dicey and you could feel it. You could feel the tension building, So here we are with Bitcoin trading at 79,961. My Bitcoin short is in red now. I'm losing money on this trade. And so I'm going to hold on to this one because I still think that this is a false breakout, a nice attempted breakout, but I don't think that it'll hold. I think that just based off the escalation in the Middle East, we will see one more pullback when that really picks up. We've already seen 3 or 4 missiles intercepted in the UAE this morning. So it's going down. The ceasefire has expired, or not expired. The ceasefire has been broken. XRP, a little move back up to $1.41, $1.42 it looks like. This consolidation coming to an end, and so expecting that breakout, an imminent breakout on XRP in the broader crypto market, but it could be that breakdown before we are set free and we can confirm that the bottom is in and that we've seen the worst of this bear market, which I'm getting a lot of signals. I talked about this with my Discord on Saturday, seeing a lot of signals, a lot of data points to say that we've already bottomed or we are very, very close. So that's what we're watching as far as the price action. On the Clarity Act, Tim Scott comes out this morning and says, we are making real progress on digital asset market legislation and restoring confidence in our economy. Banking GOP is nearing consensus and is working toward a bipartisan markup in May to advance digital asset market structure. So the news that's circulating this morning is that the Clarity Act markup needs to be done here in May. Otherwise, the odds of this passing before the midterms continue to drop the further we push this out. And today, Senator Kennedy, out of the great state of Louisiana, boy, does he entertain me when I listen to him. Apparently, he's mad about how the Trump administration's holding up affordable housing. There's a bill that they're working on in regards to that matter, and Kennedy is not happy with how they're doing that, and so he's potentially going to hold up the markup of Clarity Act. I mean, Kennedy gives me a laugh, and I do appreciate him. But what the heck, man? We can't stall up Clarity. This is a matter of national security. Kennedy, come on, man. Get on board. We love and respect him, but, and we appreciate the effort on affordable housing. This side note. I don't expect the government to fix a damn thing for me, for you, for anybody. Why are we still expecting the government to do anything for us? Get them the hell out of the way and let American people, capitalists and entrepreneurs who know how to bring value and solve problems actually get the job done, and please get the heck out of our way. I don't want affordable housing. I don't want you to hold my hand. I don't need you to take care of me. I don't need you to tell me that only accredited investors can invest in the best opportunities in the world, like private equity. Just get the hell out of our way, please. Excuse my language. I didn't mean to hit you with the language on this Monday morning, but goodness gracious. You guys let me know how you feel in the comments down below. Maybe I'm just overly frustrated about the Clarity Act, like many of you guys are as well. But the good news is that the money is starting to come back into XRP. We're seeing it with the XRP spot ETFs. Took in about $80 million in April. This is the strongest month of 2026, and no net outflows from April 9th to the 29th. So, on the back half of April, it was nothing but inflows. Now, let's take a little closer look here. 81.63 million in April. The shape tells the story. And they're looking at all of these ETFs and the flows pouring in here. Now, it says January, we had 2 to 3 day spikes with concentrated buying. April, it was smaller, every day, and smoother. So consistent. A different signature, and there's more. The cohort's lowest fee vehicles absorbed 62 million of April's $80 million in net flows. The highest fee product, 0.5% expense ratio, went effectively flat. And this is what we love to see. Lowest fee vehicles taking flow share, and the shape of the flow is a fingerprint of allocator capital. And this is to the benefit of investors, right? We don't love the ETF products for ourselves. I don't own any extra. Well, I have a couple as a collector's item. I bought a few of the Canary ETF. I think I bought a few of the Bitwise just to have as a keepsake. But we typically want to just self-direct our investments and go into the XRP investment without having to give a fee to the ETF managers, right? They're talking about 0.5%, 0.2%, any fee to a middle manager. When we stepped into the digital asset space to be our own bank and to replace middleman, right? Any fee is too high of a fee as far as I'm concerned. And this is why we've partnered up with a platform like iTrust Capital that allows you to get that exposure to XRP without having to pay a fee to the ETF manager. And of course, our favorite product over there is that Roth IRA that they have, where you can grow that wealth tax-free. All of your withdrawals from that will be tax-free. And that's why we love that product right there with iTrust Capital. You move it over from the 401k, any other retirement fund, and you get that traditional SEP or our favorite, which is the Roth IRA setup, where you can compound it tax-free over with iTrust Capital. Use my link down below to get a $100 funding bonus. And they also do have the premium custody account and the treasury accounts as well. And if you missed my update yesterday, they're also going to be rolling out stocks and ETFs, speaking of ETFs, in that platform as well. But we like direct access. We like free institutional grade custody. iTrust Capital has it linked up down below. Get that $100 funding bonus when you sign up using my link as well. Now, XRP spot ETF inflows, great. Where's the price action, Zach? Remember, all of the ETF flows are OTC, so they're not going to have a direct impact on price right away. Right? They lead to supply shock down the road, but right now, it's all OTC. It's not going to impact. And when we look here at CoinGlass, you can see the spot inflow and outflows on the centralized exchanges. And what you'll see is that we had basically a month of, let me slide this over so you guys can all see right here. We had a month that was basically just flat, right? Back here on April 22nd, we had almost 18 million of net inflows. Right here on April 6th, we had 24 million of net inflows. And so this, brought us back above $1.30, brought us back up to $1.40, and gave us a little bit of a bump. But, no breakout yet, right? We got up to about $1.47, $1.50 in the middle of April. But it wasn't enough to really juice XRP in any significant way, because those ETF inflows were OTC, and then on the centralized exchanges, we still didn't get any significant inflows. So the inflows are returning in the ETFs, the institutional investors, which should be the tell, while the retail traders on the centralized exchanges still haven't came in to bid it up. That discrepancy, that arbitrage, is the opportunity that we are taking advantage of. Like the smart money and the institutional investors that are buying the ETFs, we are taking advantage of that as well right now, stacking our bags with an understanding that this crisis, right, it's a problem reaction solution. We're watching the Clarity Act get finalized. And once we have all of the regulations set, they'll be ready to fully reset over to the new system. In the meantime, we watch them play out their shenanigans. We'll watch leaders and representatives from both sides of this war make statements back and forth. The reality that we're seeing on the ground, we're peeking through the fog of war, trying to understand what's happening. And what we see is that what's happening, the kinetic war on the ground is different from some of the statements that we're seeing, some of the expectations that the market may have. And so we continue to arbitrage that opportunity, Bitcoin short, oil long, making trades like that. Finding runners like ZBCN in the meantime, which that one woke up again yesterday. It's not done. ZBCN's not finished. And then we're looking at XRP inflow starting to return, showing that once again, smart institutional investors see the XRP opportunity. I hope you see it as well. Let me know in the comments down below what moves you are making. And if you guys appreciate our content, please help us by liking this video, sharing it out far and wide, subscribe and hit that notification bell. It's going to be a very busy week. This market's already moving big time. And so we're going to show you guys how we're making money, the opportunities that we come across, and we're going to continue to break this down and make it easy enough for you to understand and make your own investment decisions. Thank you for your support, and God bless you all. I am your host, Zach Rector. I really appreciate all of the love and support. If you want to support the channel, just remember that you can start by smashing that thumbs up for me, sharing this content far and wide, and everything else is at my website.